This is the ArmorHawk A7 body cam. It has a micro SD card slot and it records in 2K 30 frames per second, and it claims a 5 to 6 hour battery life. I was sent this to review for free. If you wanted to purchase one, it would cost you about $105. They haven't paid me for my review, and my opinions remain my own. So in the package we get the body cam itself, a USB-A to USB-C charging cable, and a few different types of clips. So there's this little guy here, there's this slightly longer guy here, and then there's this guy here. We also have a little USB charging adapter plug and the instructions manual. So you will need to provide your own micro SD card. It says it supports up to 128 gigabytes. And so I inserted that with the pads that make contact facing the front of the camera. Now for a wearing standpoint, there's three options. They include this little clip here, which just barely fits underneath that little loop, and then you can snap this in place and you can just clip this on with this guy. Now they also include this clip here, which snaps into the back, and that gives you a clip that will do an upwards clip, kind of like this guy, but a little bit closer down, and it feels a little bit heftier. Now they also include the large clip, and this guy goes downwards. Now these two clips are held in by this metal spring plate, and they hold in quite well. You're not going to accidentally have that thing fall off. To get it out, you need a little screwdriver to kind of pry that plate up, and then you can slide it out so it's not notched into this thing here. So that's what that guy looks like. So plugging this into a USB-C power delivery phone charger, it negotiates USB power delivery correctly and is charging off of that cable. So you can charge this with any cable that has a USB-C connector. So the power draw is relatively low. It's charging at 0.6 amps at 3 watts. Pretty much any USB port will be able to power this guy up. So this guy apparently is finished charging because all the lights have turned off. Okay, I turned this guy on. It's pointing at the clock, and we will just let this go until it turns off, and we'll look at the video to see what the actual recording time is. Alright, we ran this guy all the way down, so now we're charging it back up. Alright, so it's drawing 5 volts at about 1 amp, just a little under 1 amp. Okay, this guy's gotten fully recharged. So it took 8 watt-hours of power to recharge it. So plugged into my computer with a USB cable. This guy's copying files at about 11 megabytes a second. Alright, so operation, you have this main button here, the top large button. You push it once, that will turn on the camera. This status light is blue, which basically means the camera is on, but it's not recording. So record, you push a second time, this guy starts blinking blue. And so that blue blink indicates that it is recording, so the camera is recording right now. Now there's also this small button on the side that will trigger this blue and red flashing light. Push it again, it turns off the blue and red flashing light. Now the bottom button is for infrared lights, and by default those are set to auto, so the button really doesn't control anything. If you go into the settings and set it to manual, then this guy can choose between do you want the infrared lights on or off at any point. But normally it just automatically turns them on when it gets dark. Now to stop recording, you push this button again. This light will stay solid blue. If you push and hold it for 3 seconds, it will vibrate, and that means it's turning off. So to pair via Wi-Fi, first we turn the unit on, and then we push and hold this button here. That's the the flashy light button. So if you just tap that, it does the flashing lights. But if you push and hold it for 3 seconds, you'll get a blue blinking light here, which means it's ready to pair via Wi-Fi. So the application is called MP Cam. Sean Feminal. This is what the app looks like, the Eyes of Law Wi-Fi cam. We hit plus here. It is circling. This little guy is flashing blue. So we need to go to Wi-Fi settings. And it is looking for the camera. We're selecting the Z07. Password should be 1234567 So 1234567 and connect. All right, so we are connected, no internet access. The light here went solid now. So now that you're on that network, it will show the live view from the camera. So we can see the live view from the camera on the app. You can say, hey, start recording. And the camera indicator light here is blinking, indicating that it's recording. You can also go to the picture mode, but you have to stop recording before you can take a picture. So if I stop recording, I can take the button here, flip it to picture mode, and in picture mode I can push the button to record. When I do that, the light at the top of the camera blinks just a little bit. All right, so we have a settings icon, and we have the resolution here is 1080p at 30 frames per second, or we can go change it to 2K, 30 frames per second. Cycle record is 3 minutes. You can pick 5 minutes or 10 minutes. There's the time-lapse video, so you can take a time-lapse video with it every second up to every 60 seconds. You can auto-record or not. Record audio by default is on. The recording codec is H.264 by default. You can also pick H.265. You can pick the image size from 20 megapixels down to really small. They have time-lapse, photo-lapse, burst snapshot. Your quality can be fine, normal, economy. They have sharpness, white balance is auto, color is normal, ISO is auto. You can do anti-shake on or off, date stamp on off, auto power on off. You can format the SD card, you can change it back to default settings. You can also put this onto, you can change the Wi-Fi name and password. There's a firmware version. Does not appear to be a way to update the firmware, but it tells you what the firmware version is. Alright, so when you first turn on the camera, it is not exporting Wi-Fi by default. You have to push and hold this guy for 3 seconds. When that guy's flashing, then it will start exporting the Wi-Fi, and you'll be able to connect to it with your phone. Alright, so the app for Wi-Fi will let you view video from this guy. It'll let you turn on and off recording. It'll let you take pictures, and it'll let you change a few settings. It also will let you look at photos, and if you flip over here, you can look at past videos. And it's not so much play them back as just download them. And so it takes a little while to download the video over Wi-Fi. So it makes a folder called Wi-Fi Bodycam and then saves the video there. Alright, so the Wi-Fi app is perfectly reasonable as kind of a remote control panel, a way to view what your camera is seeing. There's some features you could turn on, so for example, you could leave your camera somewhere and set it to do a time lapse, you know, taking a picture every second, that type of thing. So you can also view the pictures and photos on the device, download them over Wi-Fi to your phone, and then from your phone export them out to the internet, or, you know, email them or do whatever you need to do with them. So it's relatively simplistic, but everything works and it does the job. So it takes a while to download files over Wi-Fi. You know, this video file here is, you know, maybe 2 minutes long, and you know, the camera's there, my phone's here, and it's at 12% downloading. So you know, it's not super speedy, but it will get it transferred to your phone over time. And that is a larger file because it's a 2K 30 frames per second sized file. This is a capable little action camera. Now you do have to open up the Wi-Fi app and use it to go into the settings to change it from the default HD recording up to the 2K recording. And when you do the 2K recording, obviously it's going to be able to fit less minutes of recording on your SD card. So you probably want to upgrade to the 128 gigabyte SD card if you're going to be recording in 2K. according to the settings, this should be a 2K 30 frame per second video outside. So here we're going into a dimly lit room. This is a dim hallway. And here is a very dark utility room showing off the IR infrared LEDs. And flipping on the light. The phone app will connect to this guy via Wi-Fi, and so that means your phone will have to disconnect from whatever Wi-Fi it's currently connected to, connect to the A7, use it to download videos and so forth, and then you need to switch back to your Wi-Fi if you want to use Wi-Fi to upload those videos somewhere else. So the phone app is perfectly functional. It's pretty simplistic. It basically can show you the view from the camera. You can change the settings. You can take some pictures. You could even set it to do a time lapse of photos. So you could potentially, put this camera somewhere and record a photo every second or every 60 seconds to make a time lapse video. And so the key thing there, I think, for the phone app is the ability to change the settings. So once you change those settings, you're pretty much ready to go. You can download videos over Wi-Fi to the phone directly if you want to then forward them on somewhere. It's faster to download via USB port or taking the card out and reading the card in a card reader. So if you're trying to transfer a lot of videos, you probably want to plug this in via USB or just take the card out and plug the card into a card reader. So the video quality is pretty good. The audio has some amplification, so they're obviously trying to pick up noises from far away, but that means there's a little bit of fuzz in the background. Now, this isn't a studio camera. It's an action cam, it's a body camera, so you're really trying to detect what happened, not necessarily trying to get the absolute best audio quality. So they're trading off a little bit of over-amplification to pull in sounds from farther away for, a little bit of hissing noise in the background when it's quiet. It has the infrared LEDs. They automatically turn on or turn off as you get into a dark environment. It tints things a little bit blue-purple depending on the distance, but it does mean that this guy can see in essentially complete darkness out to about 4 meters. So in my testing, everything worked as it was supposed to. So it met the specifications for runtime and video quality, and so I'm pretty happy with this as a little body camera.